Hello and welcome to another episode of the Nomad podcast with me, Danny Abbey, Liam Mulligan, and today we have probably our most famous guest, I reckon, an Olympian, Paul Adams.
How you going, boys?
Good to have you today.
Thank you for inviting me here.
We got no Davey the day.
No, Davey.
He's been sacked.
Yeah, we told him to have the day off. So we do wait a funeral. So he should be all right though.
Oh jeez, I feel bad now. Sorry, Davey.
Fucking hell, settle down. But an Olympian.
Yeah.
In the sport of skeet shooting.
Exactly,
Is it actually called skeet shooting, or is there like a special name for it?
So my event's called skeet, shooting as a whole, so clay target shooting, and we have skeet and trap shooting. So the way I kind of explain it, because it's hard to explain, like now I say, like, we're both doing swimming, I do backstroke, the other guys do freestyle. It's a different way of doing it. So, but yeah, once you were looking at it, it makes so much more sense. But we're both shooting a clay disc in the sky with a gun. That's it.
Fuck, but what I've read up on you, are one of the best. You are the best from what I've seen so far of all the events you've been winning lately.
Currently, I'm doing pretty good at the moment. It's a good streak, and it's a good time to do it. This is the Olympic trials at the moment, and I'm ahead with a few points on my sleeve, so I'm more than likely going, but I'm not saying yes until I'm in that team.
Yep.
But yeah, it's looking really positive now, so I'm in a good position.
Happy days. Right, before we start touching on the Olympics and stuff, what got you involved in the sport? What you pick up a gun and say, right, I'm a sharpshooter, or what brought you into it?
I think as a young kid,
You're not in any gangs or anything like that, are you?
Nothing I can say. No, no gangs. No, I think as a kid I used to run around the house with those little cap guns, and being a bit of an idiot and running around. I always had some sort of love with guns, and my grandfather took me out to one of our properties we had, and have a crack at a real gun. It was only a little tiny 22 rifle, which have now no recoil. I could shoot it forever and not know about it.
Yep.
And I was petrified of shooting, and I was like, look, this is not going to happen. Took one shot. That was it. And I knew this is going to be the sport for me, and progressed through some kid shooting and rifle. And I was like, yeah, this is getting a bit boring now, shooting a bit of paper. And I saw these guys shooting these flying discs, and I said to mum and grandpa, I was like, this is it. This is what I want to do. And, I shot that for a few years, and here we are. Couple Commonwealth Games, Olympics, couple World Championships. It's pretty good.
So from the get-go, when you got given the gun, were you like out the back always just shooting random targets like cans and stuff, or was it get me training into skeet shooting straight away?
I think when I was a little kid, I was always trying to get us to go to the property so I could have a shot. Can't really shoot in suburbs, unfortunately.
What age do you have to be to...
So you got to be 10 here in Queensland. I'm not sure about other states, but I think 10 to 12 is kind of the rough age in Australia. And
to legally start.
Yeah. So
is that like when you... So I know they've got a few clubs down at Chandler there next to the...
Yeah, Belmont.
Belmont.
Yep.
Is that to join a club and start shooting there, is that you got to be 10 years old?
So you obviously have to have an adult with you as well. So to join a club and then have obviously your own firearm, you need to be 18. But if obviously you have your dad or your mum or whoever with you, you can join as a minor as well and then get a minor's license. And then that means as well, if you need to go to the shooting and they can't be with you, you can just have an adult with you, but you can kind of have the firearm, but then they're supervising. It's really weird kind of grey zone. But
I bet you never got picked on at school.
No.
I'd be using that to my advantage all the time,
Packing heat every time.
You want to go, mate? You want to go?
Pulls gun out.
All right, let's go.
Pull a rifle out of his bag.
Pulls one out of the sock.
Have you ever done it before? Have you ever shot?
Mate, my best mate, he got married in New Mexico. His missus is from New Mexico. And we went over in, what was it? Must have been 2013, I think it was. And her uncle took her out in the New Mexican desert, because they've got heaps of guns over there and they do heaps of shooting over there. And he took her out in the desert, and he, like, on the back of his ute, he must have had about, 50 rifles. In some of these rifles and guns and all sorts of different things, some of them look like they'd been out like Call of Duty or something, like proper
World War
Black
1 and 2
Black Ops, like
sounds like a good day.
Like guns and shotguns and I'll never forget we shot all sorts of different guns and shotguns and like rifles and all sorts, but he had this, I think it's a Magnum, like an old school country west.
Yeah, it'd be a 44 Magnum.
It was
Dirty Harry.
Yeah, and mate, this thing was this was more powerful than the shotguns or anything. Like he gave me, he was like, because he gave me the shotgun and then I held it and you do get a bit of a recoil, and he was like, I'm going to give you the biggest one, and I'm like, oh yeah, so I'm like thinking, geez, and he pulls out this handgun, and I'm thinking, that can't be as much as kind of pack as much power as what the shotgun has. Anyways, right, I've held it up and he was like, 2 hands on this one, and he's like, just brace yourself. I'm thinking like, fuck, is this something out of like Men in Black or something? Am I going to end up in the back of the car there? And I fired it, mate, and I went, I took like a couple of steps back. Yeah, it was pretty.
You're only a small lad, so I'm sure blew you back. I done proper clay pigeon shooting. So when I was on a farm in Australia 9 years ago, doing my farm work to get me regional and get me visa. And one day the farmer came around and he's like, for something to do, your day off, do you want to...
Did he have you holding the clay and running around? Did he?
So there was 10 of us. They said, right, let's go down. Me and my mate Paj went down. They he got the little fucking contraption, whatever it's called, to shoot the
target machine.
Target machine. Shooting them out. A few of the lads there. I never held a gun ever. Never held a gun. Never at. And fucking my turn, shoot him out. Man, I was fucking hitting them every time. I didn't miss. Like, I swear to God, no joke. I was fucking...
Are you sure he wasn't standing behind you and just shooting them with a gun just to make it feel a bit better?
But I still, right, see, so that gun that I was using, I honestly don't know what type of gun it was, whatever. It was a rifle, obviously. So would them bullets actually... Are they actual bullets that will kill you, or are they? Do you use different bullets?
No, those ones. So probably would have been shotgun still as well, because it's good effort to hit what Clay did with a rifle, because that's obviously one little bullet.
Yeah,
that's really hard to do.
Yeah,
but the shotgun, those ones. So there's different shot sizes as well. So they go from a solid slug, which is like a bullet, down to number 12, which is tiny. I think they're probably like 0.5 mil across, and then they go bigger and bigger and bigger. And obviously then they're so for you can have bigger ones but less inside. The ones you're shooting, they can kill you, but yeah, you have to be close-ish enough to be killed. But like if you're standing 50 meters away, it probably wouldn't know, but closer than that.
Still pierce you,
it would hurt like a fucker. There's photos there of people on their back and being shot that distance, just like peppered the whole way.
And what do you use? What do you use in the Olympics?
So we use the exact same thing you were doing. So the same shot size. So it's probably... The trap guys use one called number 7, and then I use 9, which is smaller, because my range is closer. So I have more, like I need not any more pellets, but with the 9s you need more pellets to hit the target to break it, where 7s you need 1. I need at least 3 to break it. So it's kind of a catch-22 really. But the way, like I said, the ones you're shooting close enough, it'll kill you.
Yeah.
In your house, doesn't matter what you're using, it's dead. That's death's door right there.
So, well... obviously we weren't allowed to point the gun, but I was just thinking today, going like, so when we go, like when you were training today, we rocked down, say we went with you, like we got handed a gun, them bullets would kill somebody when we're there.
100%. Yep.
But are them bullets different to the shooting ranges that are in America?
No, it'd be the same. Exact same. Yep. Obviously different brand, the same, but exact same. Yeah. It's just the different size of pellets inside. Your hunting ones are bigger, obviously to hit harder and to kill a bird or whatever. And obviously then you get the solid lead slug, which is hunting for pigs, deer or whatever. So they hit hard, really hard.
Well, they're going, so I'd imagine they do.
Yeah, I'd imagine they do.
But
those guys use tannerite though in America as well, which is way more exciting.
They use what, sorry?
It's called tannerite, so it's a high impact explosive.
Okay.
I'll just show you a video later when they're hunting pigs. They don't even shoot the pig, they shoot the explosive and it makes a big bang. And you can buy it at Cabela's on the shelf.
Oh, really?
Fuck, they're mad over there.
No, it's great. I love it.
Have you been in America like shooting?
Yeah, a few times. Yeah, I've been in Texas. It's great.
So have you shot, do you have a favourite gun that you love shooting, apart from your own rifle that you have? Is there a gun that you're like an Uzi or something, or a fucking machine gun?
I shot an Uzi there. It was all right. I've got handguns here and that, and they're good fun. But obviously you had the AR-15. They're good fun, but then there's another one called the AR-10, which is the exact same thing, just a bigger bullet, and that hits hard.
How good's Texas, by the way? You haven't been to Texas?
Barbecue is my most favourite thing in the world.
Whereabouts in Texas?
Dallas, Fort Worth. Yeah.
Oh, how good's Dallas? Have you been? Have you been to?
If you say
Austin?
Cooper's barbecue, that's it.
Yeah, Cooper's. I've been to Cooper's. That's good. Have you been to Austin?
I haven't been to Austin. No.
Yeah, Austin is like the closest thing to probably Brisbane, outside of Brisbane I've ever been to.
Yeah, right.
It reminds me, like, we live in West End, and it reminds me of West End. It's just so chilled out, man. It's different to the rest of Texas, but it's so beautiful. It's awesome.
Did you see a stat? Well, I heard a stat there on the internet. I don't know where I heard it. That there's more tigers or lions in Texas than there is in anywhere else in the world.
Mate, I reckon you told us the last podcast. I reckon you've said this in every podcast.
Billy, can you confirm that? Can you please confirm that? Because
I need to know this. This is good.
I'm telling you,
Mate, he said this in every podcast. Like, he's got facts there.
This stat that I keep probably, I don't know whether I'm dreaming or what, but I think the truth stat. It's not 100%, but I'm telling you now, there's more pet lions or tigers, one or the other, in Texas. People had them as pets.
It wouldn't surprise us.
I'm telling you, I've never been, but I'd love to go. But so right, tell us about, you're getting ready for training.
Yeah.
How many times do you train a week? What's the routine?
Yeah, what's your routine?
What do you do?
So I'm trying to train as much as I can now these days, leading up to, obviously, selection policy, then going to the game. So obviously I work as a nurse as well, which we'll get onto later in the show. But so Monday and Tuesday I do afternoon shifts. So I try and train in the morning for a couple of hours. So I live in Redcliffe, to drive half an hour to the shooting range, shoot there for a couple of hours, come back, go to work, repeat next day. And then Wednesdays I'm work all day, and then Thursday, Friday alternates every week. So I try and shoot 4 times a week. Like today, I shot for just a couple of hours today. Tomorrow, I'll probably shoot for 3 or 4 hours with the people I'm training with today. Usually I'm by myself, but I've got people from Denmark at the moment, which is great. So it helps me.
Is your training like I don't know? How many different type of like sport events is there in shooting? Is it just the exact same? Or
there's just 2. So there's rifle and pistol events as well.
Well, it's the exact same. It just goes up.
For me, it's the exact same every single time.
So you literally you wouldn't be doing much that and different, really.
So I'm trying to be a robot. That's all it is. So
how many clays go up there? How many clay?
So in one qualification round of shooting, it's 25 clay targets. So we do 5 of them, 125.
Okay.
But then I try and change it up. Obviously, the training I can do the exact same as a competition, but then I might try and do it backwards. I might stand. I might not stand on the exact spot we do for competition, just to keep it fresh, keep it training, and not try and do the same thing over and over again, because it gets a bit repetitive, and you start forcing errors that never happened before.
Do you ever try and this is me just totally thinking off the top of my head here, but do you ever try and mix it up and get your heart rate elevated before you go on to the
100%? Yeah. So I used to do things like that. I used to go for a jog, and then I'd come back and jump straight on it.
Yeah. Recently, so I do a bit of CrossFit, and recently in one CrossFit Sanctional, they've just started introducing shooting as an event.
Yeah.
In CrossFit?
That'd be cool. Pistol?
It's so cool, pistol. But the reason why I don't agree with it personally is because the Americans are favoured in that, because they have, in my opinion, the Americans have a much more opportunity to do that type of stuff than what we do, or the Europeans.
Yeah.
I mean,
is it with a laser pistol?
Nah, it's with
an actual air pistol.
It's an actual air pistol.
Yeah, right. Okay. Because I thought it might have been like the pentathlon, how those guys do a run.
It's similar.
And
very similar.
They do. Well, they have laser now.
Oh, okay.
So,
so I'm pretty sure. I wish I had could pull it up for you. I'm pretty sure that it was. It's run in a similar way. So, for example, off the top of my head, I think they had to run a mile, and then they came in and did some shooting, and then they went and did something else, came back and did some shooting, and they were judged. It was so cool. The event was the Rogue Invitational event in Ohio.
Yeah.
And it was an awesome event. But my opinion on it is that if that was an event over there, then the Americans are going to do better than what the rest of the world is, purely because of opportunity.
I think the opportunity and access to firearms as well. That's the big thing. And especially if it's a real air pistol, then that makes it a lot harder for us. And people in the UK especially, 100%. You can't get pistols at all.
Until I went to the States there, that was the first time I've ever seen a gun in my life, you know. But it's really cool. It's really interesting.
So how are they actually So you're going to do 50 burpees, 20 whatever, and then all of a sudden pull a rifle out and start shooting targets?
Well, they've started doing implementing it a little bit more now. So there's a thing called the Airdyne, or the air bike, or sub bike. So you'll do say 60 seconds on that, and your heart rate will go from 0 to 200
flat out.
max. You're sweating, you're all over the place, you're a mess, and all of a sudden you've got to jump on a gun and hit some targets. It's pretty. I've never done it, but I'd imagine it would be bloody hard.
I only found out. I watched the other night the X Games on Netflix. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't. No.
Oh man, it's good. I never knew. So I don't know. Mully's mad for CrossFit. I've never done any of it, but I watched it. So
I've heard about it.
It was a 2016-17 games of how they put it together.
Yeah. Okay.
I never knew that you only find out on the day what you're doing.
Yeah, that's still to this day in some events in CrossFit. Not to get too far off the loop, but in some events in CrossFit, you'll turn up the event and you don't know what you're doing, and in 5 minutes time, you you get told there and then go and warm up. You got 5 minutes to get on the floor and do it. You know, so it just depends. But
we're going to rip out a Murph. Let's go.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
But no, like I was. That's why the question was coming from. Like, do you ever like, I don't know, do some stuff to distract you? Like, do you
Yeah, like sometimes I try and get someone to throw shells in front of me, just to distracting.
Just to distract it.
But yeah, the heart rate elevation is probably the main thing. Again, I just go for a little tiny jog, come back, and that's really about it, to be honest. Otherwise, I'm just trying to focus and almost stay in my own little world. But yeah, it's limited what we do there. So,
and do you do much like again? I'm sorry, you're probably going to second, but do you do much like breathing stuff? Do you do like any diaphragmatic breathing? Do you do
a little bit? Yeah. That's definitely with the rifle and pistol guys. 100%, that is like their thing.
That's their thing.
For us, not so much. Obviously, when I walk off the station where I'm shooting, I just try and take a big breath in and in nose out the mouth to try and calm down. But otherwise, it's like the rifle and pistol guys. That is their big thing because they try and shoot with a super low heart rate. So I know one of the guys there, he's like really, really into fitness, and which is great because it's obviously so it should be. He tries to get his heart down to like 40, 35 in that zone to try and shoot. So it's that's very hard to do.
Yeah. Is it expensive? Like you're probably sponsored, Are you probably
so after? I've got a couple of sponsors, but you know, getting into it
just for the average Joe. So me and Mully want to go down, get into it. We want to go shooting 4 times a week. What's it going to cost us?
So if you went out and obviously let's talk about the firearm and the ammunition costs. Say you went and just bought a stock standard base entry level gun. There's $2,500 brand new, obviously, $2,500 out of the box, but that's not the expensive part. It's the ammunition cost. So if you were shooting 4 times a week like I am, it's going to be plus the paying for the rounds. Each 25 costs about $10, just an average Joe. So, and a box of ammunition will cost $10. So there's $20 just to shoot one go. So it's
Can you get them online from China or for cheap?
Unfortunately, no. Some people load their own shells, but that only comes back to paying your own pocket after years of doing it.
Comes with that coronavirus as well.
10 rounds in the coronavirus.
So you go shooting with that bugger.
That'd be right.
So it is expensive.
It is. Initially, it is very expensive. Like again, shooting is what I'm doing a week. That would cost you wouldn't get any change at $500.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And is there like
a week.
And I'd imagine
it's more expensive than rent.
Is there like I don't know, have you got to have like, you've got to store in a safe? Have you got to like, is there like so you're gonna have to buy that for home? You're gonna have to, there's money there as well.
So safes, you can range from a couple $100 to have a full strong room if you want. When I build my own house, I want to have a full strong room. For A, I want a bit of room, and B, it'd be cool.
Like Mission Impossible sort of thing.
And a big strong like safe door, like a bank vault kind of thing. That would be pretty cool. But like my safe, I think is about $400 or $500, and all you got to do is if it's under 120 kilos in Queensland, it has to be bolted to the floor. Over 120 kilos, chuck her in, that's it, no problem. So it stays in your home, easy peasy. So it's not really that difficult at all. Ammunition just gets stored separately. Again, it can just be stored in a tin box with locks on it. Easy, done. So it's not super hard. But
Have you had any injuries? Like, have you seen anyone getting their hands blow off or anything?
No, I haven't seen anything like that. No, everyone's pretty good over here. So and obviously in the world circuit, no one does anything like that at all.
In terms of the world circuit, and I'm sure we'll get into this in a second, but like, are they Americans? Are they generally the top one? Are they the top dogs? Are they? So
guy in Texas I go shit with every now and then. Okay. Vincent Hancock, he is the bee's knees at it. He is unbelievable. I think he didn't win the last event, but the ones before he won 6 on the trot. World Cups, World Championships, just on the go. So it's just, he won 2 Olympic 2008, 2012 Olympic gold medalist.
How does Ireland go?
We're not allowed in.
Not there.
I don't even know. Is there? Not
really. No.
If there is, stay away from them.
I think Com Games is their kind of event, but otherwise they're not really on the world circuit.
Who else is up there? What other countries?
So Italy is up there. A lot of the main firearms are Italian as well. So mine's called Parati. Parazzi. I should have brought it up and showed you guys. So mine's a Parazzi.
Yeah, right.
And then we have Beretta as well. Probably that's a big name in the shooting world. Both Italian shotguns. So the Italians are very involved in it. A lot of the shell manufacturers are Italian or at least European. There's one good Winchester, probably everyone's heard.
I've heard of Winchester.
That's a very American brand, that one. So and that's kind of who sponsors the American team as well. So
What about the English, the Poms? How do they go?
they're good. So there's
good.
There's a Welsh guy, so I shouldn't not English, but close enough.
Close enough.
He's really good.
Yeah.
So he's Ben Llewellyn. He's a very, very good shooter from over there.
What's the culture like in the sport? Like, is there rivalry? Do you get on? Like, do you go to events and you aren't looking at each talking around, or is it?
Yeah, when we go to the competition, we always say, obviously our friends we say good day to. Some countries you don't even talk to at all. They're just kind of standoffish.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it is. I'm sure that's out those personalities as well, those kind of people, not them trying to be rude or anything. That's just them. They're at the competitions. But I always say good day. Then obviously we all try and get into our own zone like any sport. And then at the end of it, sometimes we go out and have a few drinks and go to dinner with a few other people. So it's actually really good. So some of the culture is actually really, really good. You know, really friendly, and other plates you just go, nah.
Yeah. So one of my other questions was going to be, so who do you look up to, or who's the main lad? Is your man Hancock, would he be that everyone tries to be, or is there someone that's famous from over the years in the sport like that?
Everyone talks about Vincent. Yeah, for me, he's not really an idol. I look up to him as a shooter. It's amazing to watch. And look, he and I both shot off in the final together. He got the gold and I got the silver. And he's got me the end.
Neck with him. It's not
at one point I was, but he just keeps on trucking along. He is that good. And I visit my downs and ups. He is just that the whole way. And that's the bit he's got. And everyone's just like, wow.
Is he, look, I'd imagine, does he do it full time? Because I'd imagine in Texas there'd be heaps of funding. He'll have everything paid for. You know, like whereas I'm guessing, like you just said before there, you work full time.
Yeah, I do, yeah. Well, so he was part of the Defence Force, and then obviously he had his success in defence, and in America they have like a shooting program.
Yeah.
And literally their job is to shoot clay targets or rifle or pistol, whichever one you do. And that's their job every day.
So
they go to work.
Huge, man. That's huge, isn't it?
How many times do you compete a year? Like in Australia and...
In Australia, I think there's about 5 or 6 competitions for my event in Australia. Then internationally, World Cups is 5 a year. So...
All right, so the ones in Australia, you win them. The prize money or...
No. Oh, well, so I just had the nationals. I got the prize money for that, and it literally was $350.
Yeah,
for the national title for our one.
Imagine you didn't have sponsors, all the money you're putting in, and then you don't really win. Like obviously, you're going to the Olympics, and that's all great, but to not get prize money, it's hard to be full time shooter.
How old's the sport in like general? Is it like has it been in the Olympics long?
It was one of the original sports in 1896
right?
Olympics.
Yeah, wow.
So I think it was one of the 5 founding sports that are left. I think it's track and field, swimming, us. Probably cycling.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what else it would be. But yeah, we're still there, still kicking along. I think it's getting, it's funny though, like it gets, in obviously in between the years of the Olympics, no one really cares about it, which is fair enough because it's not a massive following. In Europe, in India, it's the second biggest sport in the country, obviously behind cricket.
Wow.
It's huge.
Yeah,
like their nationals, they get thousands of people rock up at the national. It's ludicrous. And
you got to get yourself a gig over there, man.
I know, right? Be like Coley or something. Those guys, it's almost, if you're a top shooter, it's almost like being on a cricket team in India. So it's amazing. But a lot of the guys in Europe and America, they're defense or police or something. That's their kind of thing. So,
in your background, is it? I don't know if Abby's going to touch on this in a second. Your background is in the force itself, is it? So I'm in the Navy Reserves now. Okay. I've only been in for a year and a half now. So I went as a nursing officer because I'm a nurse. Yep.
Did my 3 years at university. Then I had to do a few years postgraduate study and work before I could apply to defence because you need to have some sort of experience before you can jump in there, which is fair enough. I don't do a great deal with them at the moment, seeing as I'm still shooting a lot and obviously hopefully going to the games. I'm just tapering right down, but once that's all finished, try and work that up and start and try and do a fair amount with them.
So I was talking to Billy about it last night. So you're in the reserves. Like, what do you do? Like, so you're like a nurse in the reserves, injuries and stuff. That's what you look at, and you shoot as well, or
So with nurse reserves, I do hardly anything at the moment. I'm going on base in a couple of weeks to do some training and just a mandatory awareness day. But other than that, I don't do much more. Otherwise, I'm at my actual work, which is a hospital up in Redcliffe, and just work in theatres. I'm a theatre nurse, so I do a lot of orthopedic surgery, so bones, muscles is kind of my thing. And that's a full-time gig, and so I work there most days of the week, and then otherwise I'm down the range shooting, and that's kind of my life really at the moment.
We're pretty good. Do you have to take leave when you go over?
So they're good. I take leave for the World Cups and that. I take annual leave, but for the Olympics and the Com Games, we get a thing called special leave, which doesn't come out of our annual leave, which is a good thing. Cool. So it's a nice little bonus as well.
What was it like being in the Com Games? Then the last one
here in the Gold Coast. That was cool. Being at a home range, home games. It was. And
was that run out of Chandler there?
Belmont. Yeah, Belmont, so it was at my home gun club. Even though it wasn't the exact range, there's 2 ranges there now. But it was my home gun club.
Yep.
It was pretty amazing.
Did you still have to stay down the coast at Southport there? Did you?
So we stayed there for the first few nights, and then we came up, and then we stayed at the Glen Hotel, which is just down at. Before Springwood anyway. Just because obviously the highway down to the Goldie can be just terrible sometimes, so we stayed up here for our competition just so we could just 10 minutes to the range, and there you go.
I was seeing there was a couple of did you see on the news the Commonwealth Games, a couple of the party animals that were floating around, a few athletes were gone missing and stuff. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, from
Africa.
Yeah. Nice free pass into Australia.
Straight to Australia, and you said they were still missing.
Yeah, I think there's a couple still
no, there
around.
There is still missing. Yeah, still a few around.
Fucking man, how funny is that?
That's rough.
Imagine coming to the Commonwealth Games and then fucking that's me sorted. Where's fucking Johnny for the long jump? Haven't seen him in 3 weeks.
Look, I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all. I think if I was them, I'd probably go, look, I'm going to compete.
Either. Good on them, but man, how funny is that?
Like, funny,
they'll never be, they won't be trusted again. Like, that's mad.
Johnny, you're up tomorrow? Yeah, no bother. I'll see you then.
Where we go this year?
I'll meet the truck.
Tokyo, no worries. I'll be there.
I won't be there. Sorry, guys. I'm a bit sick this morning.
But is there any funny stories from, because they were, a few of the athletes were getting on the piss and all.
Of course. Obviously, at the start of the event, same with Com Games, Olympics, the first week and a bit is pretty serious. Of course, some people are finishing, some people are gearing up, and it's actually really good. A lot of people are quite respectful of everyone else. They're still competing, so it's good that way. But once that tail half of that second week kicks in, it changes vibe very quickly when people are finishing, and parties happen, and it gets quite fun.
Did you remember seeing on the news over here? They were on Tinder and all. They were on fucking everything. They're all gone bleeding.
It was I think it was probably the best Commonwealth Games that I've ever seen. Yeah. Obviously, I was fortunate to go down for the swimming events because I coach a few swimmers, and I thought it was awesome. It was incredible setup.
It was fabulous.
It was unbelievable. Yeah. How do you go in the Commonwealth Games?
Yeah, so I came, I think it was 7th. I just missed in the final because we're top 6 go to our final. So I just missed out by one spot. Okay. One of the guys who shot fairly, I shouldn't say average, but I'll say average the first day, he came out with a blind and the next day didn't miss one. And I thought, if he missed one, I would have made it. And I couldn't believe he didn't miss one. So it's how it is, how the sport is, but it was okay. So I didn't shoot terrible. I didn't shoot amazing. It was just that middle ground that I thought might have made it, but didn't this day.
So when you are getting ready for it, what's the event? How does it work? What's the structure of it? You come out?
Yeah, so our structure is usually it would be, so our day one would be 3 rounds of 25. And obviously it spans on how many hours, how many people are there.
So 3 rounds of 25 clays come out at a top, one, two, three.
There's a sequence to it. So with the skeet, we shoot in a semicircle pattern. There's 8 positions we shoot from. Each one of those positions has a certain amount of targets. We know where they're coming from and what's coming next. And we do that 3 times in a day. So that could be do one in a space of hour and a half, 2 hours. The next day you come back, shoot the same thing but twice, so 50 targets, and then the top 6 out of that then goes into our finals.
So just say the 70 targets, it has 70 and then slash whatever you've hit. How many you've hit? Is that how you...
Yeah. So it's
52.
So it'll be your score, then slash 70 for the first 75. So it could be 70, 75. So you missed 5 today.
Is the timing of it all the same? So do they get released at the same time? Or
yes. It's different. So we have a random 0 to 3 second delay. So every time we're ready, we call pull. It could come out straight away, or you're waiting for 3 seconds.
Good.
And we start with that gun dismounted off the shoulder, and then so we're down on the stock obviously fits in our shoulder where obviously when you shoot a gun it's down, so then we've got to go and that makes it harder as well.
Does people ever get disqualified or going too early or anything, or no, that's not a thing really?
I've never seen anyone get disqualified for that. A lot of people, I do it too. We all flinch sometimes because we're trying to preempt the target, and that's fine. But there is a line there where the bottom of our stock has to touch or be at, and if you go up above that, too often, they'll yellow card you once, and then otherwise they'll red card you, and that doesn't mean you're disqualified. That just take targets from you.
Have you got a VAR system where they'll analyse and
Fucking hope not. I fucking hope not.
We'll just go to VAR on this one.
Have you watched soccer?
Soccer? No, I don't watch
soccer. There's a new system it's called VAR, right? And if the referee isn't certain about something, they go to the boys up top.
Yep.
They check the screen and they go to the instant replay and they
see what happened
to them.
right.
But it's they're not even getting it right. Like, it's not fair enough. It sounds brilliant. Oh yeah, how could you get it wrong? They're literally not even getting it right. And there's a big thing this year that everyone's giving out about it, saying it's a joke.
It's a joke. Yeah,
they're actually up there looking at it and they're still getting big, because it's professional. So big decisions that like 2-3 points that teams need.
Do you follow any sports at all over here?
Not particularly. Maybe a little bit of cricket now or AFL, but I don't really follow it too strong. Yeah,
it's like the whole video analysis thing is done well in Australia with Australian sports. Like, I watch a fair bit of NRL, and it's used. It's to your advantage in the NRL. I know it's a different game. I do get that, but the way it's getting operated at the minute in the EPL is just.
We've just brought in like a video thing for our finals only.
Okay.
And we get one. If we miss it, then if we think we've hit it, but it looks like we've missed, and the referee says no, you missed.
Okay.
You can go, no, hang on. Can I have a replay of that? It's in early days, so it's hard to see if you've missed it or hit it. Obviously for our finals, so our target's usually qualifications, it's a disc and you break it, it just breaks, and that's it. In the final, there's actually a bunch of powder underneath it. So in like a qualification, we did an actual visible chip off it, but in the final, you just need a puff of dust, and that still counts as a 1. That's what they're kind of looking for as well, but it's still hard to see. We need probably better cameras, and even ours are close. Better high quality cameras, even slow motion
cameras,
because they're not even using slow mo. They're just using normal cameras, but just then like pausing it and then trying to get stills that way.
Someone's iPhone zooming in.
It's early days. It's a good way, but give it a couple of years and it'll be a lot better, I think.
Do you get much help in funding or assistance, even just in terms of programs from the AIS? Does like the QES or the AI? For anybody listening, Australia has what we call the Australian Institute of Sport, which is in Canberra, and where I guess look after the national athletes, representatives of the country, and I guess it's like I haven't been personally, but it's like a mini city where everyone comes and trains and eats and sleeps, and
it is. It was really utilised before 2000 Sydney Olympics. That was a big thing there. Nowadays, it's a lot smaller nowadays. Only a few teams I think utilise it. I think swimming utilise it, netball. And I think footy uses it as well. We don't use it all. There's a shooting range in Canberra, but it's a little ways away from the LAS itself. But it's used more for functions or meetings. It's people still. There's still dormitories there. There's still food halls. There's still the whole same thing. It is good, but I think more school kids go these days. We don't, and I don't have anything really to do with AIS anymore. Even though we do on paper and behind the scenes there would be, but me, I don't. I have things to do with the QAS, so Queensland Academy of Sport, so the same thing just for Queensland. I have an individual scholarship every year with them. If I keep making the World Championships team, which is what we call a benchmark event, that's how we stay on that scholarship team. This year, obviously, it's to do with the Olympics kind of thing. And hopefully make that stay on their scheme for the next year. And I get a certain grant of money from them as well. And then we have access to the facilities of the gym, the strength conditioning, obviously, the recovery centre.
Do you have a coach that looks after you, and like a nutritionist and a physiotherapist, that type of stuff? Or?
So no, again, I don't do too much there with them as well. I do a little bit, but not a lot. When I first got through with them, I did a little bit with their career and development kind of people. So getting in, obviously I was just finishing my degree with my nursing, and I was like, well, I need to kind of do something else after this. What can we do? So kind of went and did more postgraduate stuff, and then I'm doing a business degree with Griffith as well, just to kind of keep that ticking slowly. So I've got a scholarship with Griffith as well, for a sports scholarship to go through uni to my business degree. But shooting is kind of centered with the VIS, because that's where everyone's kind of located down there in a way, but the coach is down there as well. And Shooting Australia is based in Adelaide, but I think they're going to move across to Melbourne as well, to the VIS. And we have a physiotherapist down there, strength conditioning people down there, nutritionists, all that kind of stuff. So yes, we have all that access if we want to.
Awesome. So, Do you know how that system works, Abby?
No.
So
idea.
basically, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but before, was it the 2006, was it? Everyone was based in, was it 2006 when they were
For Com Games?
For Com Games.
Yep.
So Canberra, or the AIS was like...
the hub. That
was
the central line.
That was the central place where all of the athletes, didn't matter whether you're in Perth or Brisbane or whatever, everybody would be brought to the AIS in Canberra, and they would live, sleep, eat, do everything.
2 or 3 months before they
Well,
breathe sport. That was your thing. You were paid. That was like a job. You were then.
It was the job, yeah. And not just a couple of months before competition. People would be there for.
They'd live there for a year or so.
They'd live there for a year or so.
Yeah.
But like obviously, like school kids would often have to come out of school and go there and stuff like that. And then I don't know why, but they eventually went, okay, this system isn't working. We need to go to individual states so that people can still live a normal life but attend. So what they do is they've created institutes in every state. So obviously we've got the QAS, the Queensland Academy of Sport. The VIS is the Victorian Institute of Sport.
Yep.
NSWIS, I believe, is in New South Wales. So what happens then is any athletes that represent Australia in that state will attend their local institutions, and then that's when they'll get services like nutritionists, strength and conditioning. They'll do all that training there. They will basically do everything there,
everything for free.
Only they live at home
properly.
Live at home and go to school. So, which is awesome. Like I don't know how I left the UK almost 10 years ago now. So I don't know how our system works, but I've seen it work over here, and it's awesome. It's really, really good.
Especially from a team-based thing, it really works well. With individually, you can taper it to either if you want to do minimal stuff or you can do as much as you want. So it's really, really good.
And I think you've only got to look at, and my numbers will be off here, but when you look at the Olympics and how well Australia does, they're always top 3 or 4?
Yeah, top 3. I think top 3.
Top 3.
Yep.
Top 3 out of all the countries in the world. And they have a population of 25,
30 million.
30 million. So they're arguably the lowest populated country in the Olympics. They would be up there, surely. They'd be at least in bottom, 10, but yet they're in the top 3, Whereas you look at America, what's their population? 200.
Hundreds of millions.
200, 300 million. In the UK or Great Britain, again, they'd be up there 100 million or something. Whereas Australia has hardly anywhere near that, but has a program that almost is as good as everybody else,
Yep.
That's class.
USA has the best program, obviously, in the world. That's their thing is amazing. Colorado, their Olympic training center is amazing.
Yeah, and look at that. I guess they've. I definitely think from having a little bit of an inside view, Australia is catching them up. I think had Australia had the population that the States has, I definitely think we'd be above them.
Yeah.
But the Americans are always the benchmark, aren't they? They're always
China's up there as well, because China has a system that
Russia was there for a while.
Russia.
They're gone now.
They're gone now.
They got done for.
Yeah, look, I don't know too much about it, and I don't know how ethical it is, but I know it's been questioned a bit. But China basically have a system where and again, I don't know how true this is, but I've been told they'll analyze you, test you, and they'll tell you what sport you're going to do almost, So a weightlifting coach that I once spoke with said he went over there for a bit of just to view their program and practices and coaches and stuff like that. And he reckons that they had they went in their weightlifting center, and they had one of the guys obviously was the one not representing their 85 kilo weight class or whatever it was, and he reckons that obviously this guy was breaking world records. He was the world champion, but they also had 15 people underneath him that were also breaking the world champions, the world belts and the world weights.
Like robots.
So let's just say
They
all
have depth.
all
big
of
depth.
these, because they have a population that is absolutely huge. They're able just to use a system that breaks heaps of athletes, and one of those athletes is not going to be broken. So if you think of like a pyramid scheme, you start off with a big base of people, and over the years training, gradually the pyramid gets lower and the population gets lower and lower and lower, and finally you're left with the tip of the iceberg and 10 athletes that are all breaking world records. And you can only choose one from them. Only one can represent the country. Yet all of them are just as good, So the system itself is just a bit different.
It's brutal from a personal athlete point of view, but from a medal point of view, it's you know,
Yeah,
a way to go,
well,
really.
exactly right,
yeah,
yeah.
and that's all they care about at the end of the day. It's medals, really. And
100%.
same with us, you know, all we care about at the end of the day, we don't really care who's going to go. If you're going to perform, win that medal, that's what they want.
Yeah.
Because obviously a medal is big money for obviously individual, but then for the country as well, it's big.
Is that right? Is it?
Yeah, because then we get rights as well. Other sponsors want to come along, or Australia's going well. We want to kind of be with them because their athletes are going so well, and we want to be represented with them, and that's what it's kind of all about.
Is there, like, if you don't mind me asking, you don't have to tell me figures, but is it like if you win a medal, is there big money in that for you personally?
Yeah, there is. I think it differs from each sport as well. But like, take for us our World Championship medal. If we win, I think it's $50,000 for shooting,
wow.
and then I think it's 50, 40, 30 for the two medals, and then 4, 5, and 6 about 20 grand. Olympic medal, I'm assuming it's going to be a little bit more,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure itself. But then other sports, no idea if it's more for them.
Yeah.
But then obviously on top of it, you have your own personal sponsors. That obviously depends on what your sponsors are. So
Is the World Championships like always in one place? Is it?
no, it always changes.
Always
yeah.
changes?
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
okay.
people have some sort of a mecca for a range in Italy. It's called in Lanato. Okay. They call the mecca of shooting. I can't see why. Like, I understand, you know, Perazzi and Breda, the main manufacturers of firearms, are close by. But it's another shooting range to me. I've shot other ranges I like personally better. But again, it's not knocking it. It's fabulous and fantastic. But shooting ranges at World Cups and World Champs always moved around the world every now and then. So, yeah.
So you're getting ready for Tokyo.
Yeah.
July.
Yep, July.
Do you fly with everybody, or do you all go separate times, or is it like, do you get together and wear all these Aussie clothes and go, or how's it go?
It really depends. For Olympics, it then goes down. For an individual sport like us, we get to say what we want at the end of the day. Obviously, for a team sport like whatever, football, soccer, it obviously goes in a team. It's how it is. But for me, I'll say, look, I want to go on this day, this time, for this reason, and I'll go, yep, no problem. So
they pay for everything.
Oh yeah, so for Olympics now, it's all paid by the not even Shooting Australia. It's paid by the AOC, Australian Olympic Committee. It's all covered that way. So I'll probably make the team. I'll probably head over maybe 5 or 6 days before the opening ceremony, because we'll have the opening ceremony that night. I probably won't be going to it because the next day we have our first day of proper official training day, and then 2 days after that is competition. Yeah. So I'll probably go over for a week beforehand, maybe acclimatise, get ready, just relax, kind of take in the experience of the games. But also, I think it's quite well. I've already been to a games before, so I know what to expect. Rio was, look, it was a letdown in a way of the whole experience of Olympic Games. But at the same time, it still was Olympic Games, so it's still awesome to see everything.
I was just going to go on to that. how was Rio, and how, like, you know, give me your insight.
Look, it was tough. Like, doing around the shooting range was great, and we were told the bedrooms that we're going to have no air conditioning, you know, Mozzie nets, is going to have a fan, it's going to be hot like how it is today here in Brisbane, and that was it. So I was bracing for it's going to kind of suck in a way. We had an air conditioning in our room, was fantastic. The bed was perfectly fine. The food hall was fine. Good food. Didn't get sick. So overall experience for me was fine. I didn't go out of the village very often, though, because obviously being Rio, it was pretty dangerous. We stayed in Copacabana 2 months before the Olympics because we had a World Cup test event, which is what we're having in April for Tokyo. Same thing. So I'd kind of already done all that stuff when it wasn't kind of the big hype of the games. But after that, I kind of kept a pretty low profile. Because I didn't want to have any problems, any dramas, because it was just too scary, too dangerous.
Did you hear any stories about?
Oh yeah, heaps of stuff. I was going to the range on the bus with the guys, and we saw favela shooting, which is not amazing at all, on the way to a range. And
I bet you there was no Africans going missing over there. I'd say they stayed in their rooms.
They were like, hell
they were like, fuck that. I'll wait for Australia.
I'll take my chances over there.
Yeah, no, it wasn't nice, but and that was from one of our security guard police at the front. They were taking no prisoners. It was either you get out of the way or you die. Pretty simple, and it was full on that way. But again, in some parts of Rio, amazing, beautiful, unreal. But other areas, you can see where some areas are pretty sketchy. You don't go. But for Tokyo, there we've been told they're insisting on us to go and explore Tokyo and see around and everything. So
that'd be lovely, Tokyo.
Yeah,
it's going to be amazing. Yeah.
I'm taking that advice full on, and I will be going every day to just go and look at all these other things. I'm really excited.
Have you shot at the range in Tokyo?
No. So we literally will shoot it in April. As soon as we make the team, we'll find it in March. If officially we're in the team end of March, and then it's the 15th of April. I'm heading heading over. Well, I should say we're heading over to Tokyo.
Have you got a bit of an entourage? Do you take anybody over there with you? Or do you just fly with it? Yeah.
I just go with myself.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, no. So for that one, we'll just go with the coach, our team.
Yeah.
That one there is just a normal World Cup for me. I'll just do what we're told. I don't really care. But for the Olympics, I'll say, look, I'm going this time. And usually it's everyone will go the same time because I go, oh, it's a good idea, and we just go. So I don't care if I travel with other people. That doesn't bother me whatsoever. So
How many of you go? So many get picked from Australia? From
So
the team?
at the moment, in the shotgun team itself, we have a thing called quota spots, which are like Willy Wonka's golden tickets. You have to win them last year, so 2019. So at the 5 international World Cups, and then you have your domestic international, which I call the Oceania. Obviously, you have like Europeans, Pan Ams, or like the African champ, all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Same level. So that's like the level down from World Cup, and you get those quota spots as well. So we managed to get. So you can have a maximum 2 in each event. So 2 men's trap full, 2 women's trap, and then we got 1 in women's skeet and 1 in our event. But so that gives obviously 6 people. But then you're allowed to, as a country in the sport, you can move one from one male athlete or one female athlete then to another female athlete or male athlete. It has to be same gender, because obviously this time with the Olympics, they're trying to keep everyone exactly the same equality, same men, same women, because we had 36 competitors in Rio. Now we have 24 in Tokyo. So I think it's great. More chance to win a medal. So less people to compete against, but then harder to get into the game. So again, we have 6 guys who's qualified to then try and get that spot. Hopefully they move that 1 spot from rifle, because I think we can, to men's skeet. Then we can hopefully have 2 guys go. So we have to have 7 shotgun athletes. I think it'll be a team of, 20.
Yep.
Oh,
shoot in total rifle, pistol, shotgun. I think it will be. So
is there any like age that is literally, some of these are all different ages? Or
all different ages. So Rio was the biggest one. We had Ashlyn. She was our youngest. I think she was the youngest in the team of the Australian Olympic team. So she was 15, then turned 16 just before. And then the oldest athlete, I think, was in shooting as well. And I think he was like 50 something. So we have
is there an age limit?
No, in shooting, or in any sport, no, there isn't. Obviously, in physical sports, obviously you have an age limit, but for us, it is until you can't hit the target, you're still good. So, yeah.
Still hope for you yet, Abby? Still
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
Well, you said you're hitting all those targets on the farm,
Yeah, well, we're actually going to do a challenge.
Yeah.
I was saying,
yeah.
we're going to get you involved.
Yeah.
So, Billy, we made up an idea, right? So we're going to try to do a challenge once a month. It doesn't matter what it is, just to keep us on our toes, So, the next one, we're going to ask you, could we do
shooting,
clay pigeon?
Yeah, 100%.
Bring us down, me, there's another lad, Davey, 3 of us, get Billy involved.
Yeah.
And we'll see who comes out on top. I reckon I will win. I'm not going
Just
to
pass the bill to Abby. He'll take care of the bill.
I reckon I will win.
Yeah.
No, Billy paid for everything in this, so just give Bill I'll pay
Mate,
for
one question I want to ask, would you go back to Rio? Obviously us being we've done a fair bit of travelling. We like travelling. We like Rio is one of the places I would love to go to.
Yeah.
But I have heard mixed reviews from it. So
I wouldn't go back personally.
Nah.
I've been twice. That's enough.
That's enough.
I would go back to South America, probably to Peru again. I've been there once. Again, I had a bad experience. Stuff got stolen, but that could happen anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
I want to go back, obviously Machu Picchu, that kind of thing.
That's where I like to go as well.
But Peru, in its the area called Miraflores, is absolutely gorgeous in the city. It is beautiful, so I love it there.
You've been a lot of places shooting in competitions.
Yeah, I think it's like 30 countries now.
Cool.
30.
That's decent. Like, you
So
easily got.
good.
And have they all been paid for, or have you sometimes had to pay for them?
All but one. I had to pay for my first one to
brilliant.
Beijing, because I had to kind of prove myself, and I've been able to keep proving myself the whole time. And
good.
because we have 3 levels, we either get full funded, half funded, or you have to pay yourself. So I went from paying myself to full funded.
So
have you ever been to Thailand where you can shoot them guns dodgy?
I haven't been to Thailand yet. That's part of our B circuit if you want to go. I haven't been there yet. So
I went to Thailand, right?
Is that what you were telling? Oh, you going to you say?
And went in. Never shot. Well, I shot them clay pigeon things, but I never actually held a proper gun like that, handgun or whatever. Went into Thailand, got into a taxi with this guy, said, bring us to a shooting range, no worries. Driving the back roads, ended up looked like a house, right? Walked in, this fella, probably about 15, sitting behind the counter, pushes out this little menu full of guns, right? It was like fucking shotgun.
Sounds like my kind of day.
Oh, it was like shotgun, handgun, Glock, like all these Uzi, whatever you wanted. So I was just like, look, I'll just give us a handgun. So I got a Glock, filled it up with bullets, follow me, walked out, hands me the gun, nothing, just, he goes, right, here's your target, shoot against the, no problem. I was like, oh, it was like dodgy, like
just going nuts.
I felt dangerous, like, because I'm holding a gun, I'm with.
Do you know what was behind that wall?
Was it just
I was thinking I was shooting like this. I thought it was going to ricochet back and come back at me. I swear to God, I was shitting myself.
What are you shooting at? Just someone's garage or something?
No, it was like just these targets, like just cliffs, like just like a hill.
I was going to say, Mary's not in the kitchen trying to put a kettle on.
No.
Fucking bullets are coming flying through.
It was, oh man, it was
I've
dodgy.
heard of one in Thailand. I could be completely wrong. Could be a big myth. I've heard of the one where you can go and shoot an RPG. Well, I know you can shoot.
That's what I thought you were going to say. What he's going to say.
No,
I know
that.
you can. 100%. I know you can do that.
Blow a sheep up or something.
It's a cow.
A cow.
I wouldn't be able to do that.
I know you can shoot just an RPG just into the hill. I've seen people do that, but apparently there's one where you can shoot at a cow. If you hit the cow, obviously it's supposed to be hilarious, and it would not be.
Nah.
That's not funny at all.
Nah,
But then if you miss the cow, you got to keep the cow.
Oh, Jay.
What am I gonna do with a cow?
But keep and then pay for the cow. Like if you kill it, then obviously the guys will then go up and try and get any meat that's left. Obviously eat it, but then if you miss it, you will pay for that cow. And I think it's actually quite expensive. And then obviously, what are you gonna do with it? And you got to give it to the locals down the road, and then they just try and keep recycling it.
Why would you even bother? Like,
I bet they've trained this cow to be this cow will have
dodging
like agility on another level.
would you
Fast
even
feed.
bother though? Was it, like,
Have you ever been hunting? Do you go hunting much? Do you?
I've been hunting, but years since I've been hunting.
Yeah.
It doesn't do it for me, really.
Yeah.
Look, obviously there's vegans or people who watch this.
Sure.
That's
Yeah.
fine. I like shooting birds. Again, that was years ago, but then I prefer to do it with a dog because it's kind of an experience together with your dog. But we don't have a dog that does it anymore, so I don't do it anymore.
Yeah.
So I don't get any satisfaction of like stalking deer.
Yeah.
I've done it and I'm like, no, it's not for me. Again, I do want to kill. I'd try and butcher it and then eat it because it's not just going to be brutal.
I don't mind people that go out, shoot something, and then eat it, and like that's even this trophy hunting show you've gone and killing.
No.
Yeah, look,
that annoys me.
For me, like I just haven't got the balls to kill an animal.
Nah.
Like, it sounds weird, but call me a hypocrite because I do eat meat. But I just haven't got it in me to kill an animal. Like I've got a friend of mine who goes hunting all the time, and he hunts for he's a pig hunter, and he was telling me that there's more pigs in Australia than there is people.
Yeah.
And often farmers, he's got this guy he was telling me about. There's a farmer sort of out where is it, like was he sort of, is it Bundaberg or some, well, he's out east, so and he's in Queensland somewhere more central, and he reckons there's this farmer that pays him to come out and kill the pigs, and he reckons it takes 2 weeks to drive around this farmer's property. It's that big, but he just paroles the perimeter for 2 weeks, but he kills them with a knife, not with a gun.
See, I can't go pigging with knives and dogs. That's not my thing. I could go and kill the pigs and shoot them because what they do to the farm they destroy it, and obviously that ruins the feed for if you got sheep or cattle. Then that then kills them because they can't eat, and obviously then puts less money in your pocket at the end of the day because it's a business at the end of the day. I could go and shoot those pigs, not a problem, but again, you don't really want to eat those ones either because it's not right.
He says you can't eat these ones.
Nah, some people do, but it's not the go. But I can't run in there with. I understand when they run in with knives, they go, well, it kind of brings back the level playing field because they've got tusks and they can get you. And I'm like, well, I get that side of it. But then again, you're stabbing something and it's not the way. I know. Again, obviously back before guns, it was either bow and arrow or knives. That's how it was. Yeah. I don't like hunting with bows either, but you've got better means to it these days. And
the poor dogs as well that go out.
They get gutted,
a lot of
them get killed.
Yeah.
A lot of these dogs get killed.
The farm that I was on, I was in Hay. I don't know whether you ever heard of Hay, New South Wales. It's down near Mildura and all that.
Yep.
But so they had pig and dogs. Man, the dogs are monsters. Like they are.
They're big.
And they're a lot of money.
Yeah.
To get a good pig and dog. Some of them, like, you have to farm it all over. You had like
thousands,
$5 or $6 grand for this dog.
I believe it.
His dad was a well-known whatever, and I was just going, fuck man, it's a lot of money to spend on a dog. And obviously if a pig gets a hold of a dog, no matter how big the thing is, obviously they bring about 7 or 8 dogs, but still, man,
they wear all leathers and stuff like that, but still it doesn't take, it takes a one go for the tusk to slip in between and it's gone.
I'm not,
they're brutal.
I know loads of people that do pigging. Like I know a lot of people on my Instagram, Facebook, I see a lot of people with pigs. I don't mind, I wouldn't be able to do it personally, but I wouldn't be for me.
Yeah, kniving, not for me. I'd no problem go shoot them, no problem whatsoever. But yeah, this is not my thing, kniving, and never has been, never will be. So I understand the adrenaline rush behind it, but no.
Yeah, it's pretty intense.
Well, anything else you want to cover before we go?
No, pretty good. Well, thanks very much for coming on the show, mate.
Yeah,
I really
thanks very much.
Appreciate it.
You know, for a small podcast like us at the minute, it means a lot. So,
fucking ounces.
Yeah, we really appreciate that. And
No problem.
Yeah, mate. Thanks very much.
Thanks
and all
very
the best
much.
for
Thank
Tokyo
you.
2020.
We'll be keeping an eye on you, yeah. Hopefully we try and sponsor them, you never know.
Well,
we could get on your shorts or whatever, your jacket.
We'll do the next Nomad.
Yeah, so the challenge 100%.
Yeah.
We're going to do that with you, definitely.
Yeah, 100%.
We'll book that in, but it's in a week or two. But Paulie, thanks very much, buddy.
No, thank you
Thanks,
very
buddy.
much.
Take it
Thanks,
easy.
boys.
Thanks, fella.
Thank you.